After the debacle at Lord's, England were hoping for a strong fight, and that's what they call on day one. Where surprise, surprise, Virat Kohli wins the toss, goes into bat, and you know what happened after that. It was England rejoicing, sort of a give back to the Indian team where James Anderson took major of the top order. Hello and welcome. And with me today, I have my friend Narayanan as usual, and also Saurabh. क्या हाल है दोस्तों? मजे?
बस चल रहा तू बता कैसे चल रहा है सब कुछ. how's everyone doing?
मस्त. अच्छा, this time around we are doing something different. We are not sticking to just English. हम लोग as just a casual chat करेंगे. Hindi and English will use both. So guys, please feel free, whichever language आप लोग पसंद करें, please. सौरभ, मेरा क्वेश्चन तेरे लिए ये है अभी. टॉस जीतने के बाद हमारी जो फर्स्ट इनिंग में इतना बढ़िया परफॉर्मेंस रहा, प्रदर्शन रहा, कुछ विशेष टिप्पणियां. टिप्पणियां बोल रहा हूं मैं.
I just need to open my. I need to get my dictionary book out here.
I know, right? It's just like, I mean, he decided to switch to Hindi in the middle, but like Hindi मतलब एकदम शुद्ध हिंदी पे चला गया वो.
अरे seriously, आजकल मतलब courtesy Bollywood and हम लोग की स्टेट में जैसा लैंग्वेज हम लोग यूज करते हैं, हम लोग तो पक्के मुंबई कर रहे हैं, अपना तो बम्बईया चलता है. उसमें
मराठी हिंदी सब मिक्स है.
difficult to segregate which whether you're talking Hindi, whether you're talking Urdu, क्योंकि हमारा लिंगो पूरा कॉम्बिनेशन है, एक पूरा मसाला है. Okay, Saurabh, please.
हाँ, तो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल सबसे बड़ा सरप्राइज तो था जब विराट टॉस जीतता, क्योंकि आई स्टिल रिमेम्बर लॉर्ड्स के टेस्ट मैच के बाद आई वाज लाइक कि मतलब इन लोग टॉस के लिए जाते ही क्यों है, रूट को पहले ही पूछ लिया करो भाई तेरे को क्या चाहिए. So, but you know what? Fortunately, the toss जीते, and yes, day one there was not going to be significant cloud cover or anything like that. So, batting first was the right decision to take.
Yep.
But it was also one of those days where Anderson had a golden arm that day. Like whatever he tried worked. Like if you take a look at the difference between the first and the second innings. In the first innings, the Indian batsmen played around 47 false shots, on which they lost 5 wickets.
Wow.
But in the second innings, till now, they've played over 60 false shots and they've lost only 1 wicket to a false shot. So wow. You have to understand that in such situation, even luck plays a part. But it was England's day. That's why everything they did worked. Every bowling change worked. Every bowler got something out of it. Everything just worked for them. And also our woes with the middle order continue. Fortunately, and I think we'll get to it later. हम लोग वापस उसके बारे में बात करेंगे. But second innings में थोड़ी stabilization के chances और थोड़े मतलब जिसे हम लोग बोलते हैं संकेत हैं stabilization के थोड़े बहुत. But let's just see how. But like day one it was just England's day on the field. Like. And then again, it's the Indian team's habit. ना हम लोग किसी भी कंट्री में जाते हैं एक बार तो 100 के नीचे ऑल आउट होना ही है. उसके बिना तो रात का खाना हजम होने वाला नहीं है. मतलब सीरीज जीतेंगे तो अच्छा तो लगे.
मेहनत का
as a part of writing the underdog story, they always do this.
Okay, good points those, Saurabh. Narayanan, pitch का कोई fault नहीं था. It is a beautiful batting track. It is something like an Indian subcontinent wicket, जहां कोई भी बैट्समैन मस्त से बैटिंग कर सकता है. एंड वही हुआ. इंग्लैंड ने फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में किया, लेकिन जैसे सौरभ ने बताया, इंग्लैंड ने they bowled at the right places and they got wickets. And according to you, what was the mistakes? I know we've been discussing a lot on WhatsApp, on social media. What was the difference in how India played in the first innings and जो उनका second innings में performance? Narayan.
I mean, I think the first mistake was the way we approached the first innings after coming back from the wonderful Lord's win. First over of the match, yes, it's a bit cloudy, and yeah, the pitch is a good pitch to get your eye in. Yes, it will be tricky for the initial half an hour, 45 minutes, but then once you get your eye in, it's a good wicket to bat on. But you could see how KL Rahul went for that wonderful knee bent cover drive on the opening over of the match.
Yeah.
That is a shot by a batsman who's generally about properly well set, not for a batsman who's playing the first over of a test match. So I think that's where the whole mentality of the team kind of showed. Where if you look at Jimmy Anderson's figures in the first innings, he's just bowled 8 overs and picked up 3 wickets. Those three wickets were KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, and Cheteshwar Pujara. Sorry, and Virat Kohli.
Virat, yeah.
So you could just see he's just bowled 8 overs in the entire first innings of the test match. He's not bowled after the first 8 over spell. He's picked up the three most important wickets. Yeah, I mean, if you look at how we ended up winning the Lord's Test match, you do realize that we were entering this match with complete and full confidence. And I'm not surprised at what Saurabh also said is that, win the toss, bat first. I mean, that's a very good decision. But there was a wonderful stat which I also came about that the last 4 or 5 matches held at Headingley, the team that has batted first has ended up losing the match. But that said, if you look at how our approach was, I mean, KL Rahul's opening over, knee bent, going for that extravagant cover drive, that was not by a batsman who was playing on some 50 or 60, and I would have accepted that. That was the first over of a test match. You do not play those kind of shots on the opening over of a test match. So I guess the mistake was our approach, our confidence kind of took it over where we believed that yes, we can go in for the shots irrespective of trying to get your eye in for about half an hour to 45 minutes and then trying to see how best you can start taking the scoring rate ahead. But I mean, it was a wonderful bowling performance, but also very, very bad application of the shots, to be honest, more than the bowling performance. And Anderson, if you look at, has bowled just 8 overs in the first innings, right? I mean, he's picked up 3 wickets, crucial wickets of KL Rahul, Cheteshwar Pujara, and Virat. I mean, those three just broke the spine of the batting order, and no one else could handle or stay behind Archie after that. There was that odd partnership with Rohit and Rahane, but apart from that, I don't think anyone could stick around. It did raise some positive things about what England pulled off when Stokes was playing in the Ashes against Australia when they had become 67 all out in the first innings and then pulled off a 1-wicket victory for them. But yeah, we are completely up against it right now, and we have 2 full days coming up. And you could see how the pitch has actually eased out. But yeah, it's a crucial game for India.
Absolutely. And Narayanan, you used you hit the nail on the head. We played some overconfident shots. I would use some strong word for that. बहुत arrogance था. सोचा कि मैं कुछ भी कर सकता है. First over में मैं ऐसा drive मारेगा. You have to respect, who you're facing. It's a Red Dukes ball. Jimmy Anderson, number 1 bowler for England. You have to respect that. You have to play out the first hour and take it session by session. लेकिन अपने जब ये लोग stats दिखा रहे थे टॉप ऑर्डर का कि कहाँ इन्होंने विकेट्स अपनी फेंकी है, most have been outside the off stump, especially Virat. He's gotten out all the innings on the 5th stump, 6th stump. तो बताओ नारायणन के जब अभी सेकेंड इनिंग्स में विराट बैट कर रहा है तो क्या क्या देखा तूने इस पे? कि difference अभी कोहली ने क्या change किया as compared to first innings?
I guess the only message that would have been put across is we cannot have an innings defeat. Come what may, we are up against it, but we have to, irrespective of whatever one is going through, we have to play it out, grind it out. And you could see how the second innings started, and the opening 1 hour was fiery. I mean, it was tough for a batsman to be in. Some very, very good bowling, some good chances going England's way. And you are also lucky, and you need all the luck, right? I mean, even when England was batting, you do need the luck going your way. And it was wonderful again to see David Malan come back into the squad and get in the mix of things and score some beautiful 70 odd before he was caught down the leg side, which again, only Shiraz was the only guy who heard that lick. No one else was even interested. But I think England's at this pitch, in a way, England batting second has helped England to again finalize their test squad to see, yeah, this is where their top order needs to be and this is how they need to bat. And everyone got some useful runs. Joe Root, as usual, with this 100. But you could see how a man-but score they had posted. I guess they could have declared when they had scored a considerable amount of runs, but the positive for India would be that in spite of all this, they still got the team all out. And apart from KL Rahul in the second innings, everyone else is batted good, and keeping fingers crossed, they have to continue doing this for this entire day as well, the upcoming 4th day.
Okay, my question still remains unanswered. मैं सौरभ ये क्वेश्चन तेरे को मैं डालेगा कि विराट कोहली ने फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में जो ऐसा बैटिंग किया और अभी सेकंड इनिंग में जो कर रहा है उसमें तूने क्या डिफरेंस देखा?
See, the main difference, not only between the first and the second innings, actually, if you look at all the innings until the first innings of this game and then this innings, the biggest difference is he's letting the ball go a lot more. Like the same lines that he was prodding at, he's just letting them go. And that's kind of been a reason for frustration for the Thorns. Like if you notice, like they're not too happy about it. They're not loving it as such. Ollie Robinson was trying to get into his face. Anderson tried to say a few words. Everyone tried something or the other. Overton tried something. Yesterday, he was like a very calm individual when he was batting, which was very unlike him. Like he was very animated when he was fielding. But then when he was batting, he was like extremely calm. He did not have a care in the world. He was literally just, you know what, I'm just going to play every ball on its merit. He did get beat a couple of times. No doubts there. Of course, I mean, there's good balls always going to be good. But he was in a very good, how do I say it, mindset yesterday. Like उसका mindset अलग था.
एक zone
उसको
में
पता है उसको लंबा innings खेलना है. हाँ, उसको पता है उसको लंबा innings खेलना है. And another thing was he saw the way Rohit batted and what worked. He saw, KL Rahul got out relatively early, but he still faced around 54 balls.
54 balls, yeah.
He did face 54 balls. And the way Rahul played was the same thing, letting anything that was not hitting the stumps just go. I mean, the ball that he did get was amazing. बहुत सही ball था. वो कुछ नहीं कर पाया. And it was a very good grab as well from Bairstow. Like, like, and even Pujara was extremely successful with the same thing. Like one thing I noticed about Pujara yesterday was he didn't get squared up as much as he usually gets.
True.
He was very, like, if you notice uska right shoulder jo tha, you were very rarely able to see his right shoulder yesterday. It was very much all on his left shoulder that you could only see. Uska left shoulder aa raha tha. His arm, his bat swing was coming properly. He was, and I think that was something that had given Virat confidence even before he walked onto the pitch. Like he knew that, yes, this is a wicket on which I can bat. Like if you notice some of the shots that he played, like the balls that Anderson bowled a bit too straight and he just played him through the covers. Because if you notice when Virat came into bat, they immediately brought Anderson on. And then him and Pujara scored 20 of 2 overs and they had to take him off immediately. Yeah. And then his on, like, you know, his punch on the onside between the square, like between a squarish mid-on and mid-wicket off of Karan, when the ball swerved a little bit onto his patch, it showed a very different level of confidence and a level of patience that he was in no hurry to score. Like he's scoring at around 45 to 50 at a strike rate level, like similar to Pujara. But like it's good enough, and I think he's in a good headspace right now. And if he continues to do this, and both of them continue to do this today for the first session, I'm pretty sure it won't be illogical, or it won't be too optimistic to say that we might actually pull something out here.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely, Saurabh.
Dave, if you recall, you've seen the stance of Virat, right? The one which is the back foot is pointing towards a point, and the other stance where the back foot is pointing towards covers. You being a level coach in Australia, how do you think this may have worked towards something that could go against a batsman, or something that what a batsman needs to adjust? Do you think that would have mattered?
Yeah, actually, that's a very good question, Naru. Yes, as a player, you do get to understand, and especially with technology nowadays, you have all the camera angles, the side view, the front on. Your analysts who are sitting in the dressing room there to help you with the coach. So what they do is they have a session with the player, says, see, this is how you performed when you were in your peak. Your bat is coming down from the first slip or from the middle stump, or your foot is somewhere, as you said, pointing towards a cover or point, and they point out all these nitty-gritties that can actually help the player. And it makes it easier if you are someone like of the caliber of Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli. वो लोग मेहनती है, उनको पता है कि मैं ये चेंज नहीं करूंगा तो कोई नहीं मुझे हेल्प नहीं कर पाएगा. I won't be able to make runs. That's as simple as that. So Virat Kohli, he made those tiny changes, and but sometimes things work in your favor, sometimes they might not, because as you know, if you've made those changes, the opposition, वहाँ पे captain वो slip में खड़ा है, and the bowler, they are looking at that as well, and they have a team of analysts. They might counter attack to that and find out some sort of कोई एक उसमें से नुक्स होएगा कि उसका weakness क्या हो सकता है, right? So that's it all becomes a a cat and mouse game जहाँ पे कोई chase कर रहा है, कोई भाग रहा है. So it makes it as a fascinating contest. But yes, when you make those subtle changes, subtle variations, you will end up blocking some of your weaknesses, and that way जैसा विराट को scoring opportunities मिलती है, he can capitalize on such occasions more. तो जहां आपका head fall हो रहा है, उसके जगह पे straight रख रहे हैं, तो तुम्हारा body weight सही से transfer होएगा from your back foot to the front foot or front to back, and you'll maintain a proper balance equilibrium in your stance as well.
So here in this case, since the foot was pointing towards covers, your body tends to open up. So when the ball is a bit outside of, you go searching for it. Whereas if your back foot is pointing towards point, you're more closed and you play close to the body, and anything outside of you tend to leave.
Yeah, correct. And also not just your back foot, you also have to make, as a player, as a batsman, you also have to make sure you are in line of the ball. And जितना तुम बॉल के करीब हो और बॉल को अपने नजदीक खेल रहे हो, उतना तुम्हारा चांसेस कम है कि एज जाएगा स्लिप में. You'll play compact innings, you'll play closer. So I think that was a good observation that you made, Narayanan. And when you spoke about this, Saurabh, that KL Rahul made 8 runs of 54, I thought it was a very good innings. Even though it was just 8 runs, he played out the entire session. Really unlucky कि वो last ball पे out
He
हुआ.
got rid of the shine on the ball.
Exactly.
उसने ball के shine की माँ बहन कर दी थी.
Yeah, if you remember,
I don't think the shine matters because the ball was still swinging even at 60.
I know, right? He was insane. Like, bloody Dukes.
Going back to 2018 Melbourne Boxing Day Test match, Mayank Agarwal and Hanuma Vihari, that's what they did. वो match में पता है ज़्यादा रन नहीं मारे थे, but they played out the entire first session and थका दिया था Pat Cummins को and Hazelwood को, और उसके बाद आए.
Exactly on those lines actually, if you notice yesterday, yes, like Naro was saying, like the ball was swinging, ball swing हो रहा था end maybe.
Yes.
But Joe bowlers around lunchtime pe, their tails were up because Rahul had just gotten out, or immediately after lunch they were all bowling like 134, 135, or as much like, but like towards the end of the day they were all like 125 to 128. And it was like literally, like I still remember there was one shot that Virat played against Robinson, and Virat was already there before the ball came, so it was like, oh shit, I was too early. So when that happened, after that ball, Virat just looks at Pujara and just goes, too slow.
Yeah.
Hindi mein, bahut dheere tha yaar, bahut dheere tha.
Yeah. And
they were tired and they're psychologically fatigued. Two batsmen who have not been in form are both about to reach a milestone. Virat's about to reach his 50. Pujara's in his 90s. They know it's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
So I mean, of course, with the new ball, the tails are going to be up today. And it's like bloody ऐसा लगता है कि इंग्लैंड के जो बॉलर लोग है ना, वो क्लाउड कवर को जेब में लेके घूमते हैं. जैसे ही बॉलिंग का टाइम आता है, हवा में छोड़ देते हैं उसको. हर बार साला
क्या चल रहा है यार? इंडिया का बैटिंग क्लाउड कवर आ गया.
इंडिया का क्लाउड नहीं आ, इंडिया के टाइम पे खिसे में डाल देते हैं उन लोग. तो इट्स लिटरली लाइक कि मतलब जैसी so I mean I hope कि आज जब इंग्लैंड जब बॉलिंग करेगी तो साला तो क्लाउड कवर नहीं होगा. थोड़ी बहुत हमें मतलब अगर क्लाउड कवर ना हो
मिले
तो actually
I guess I will be the most happiest if Cheteshwar reaches and scores some mammoth score rather than just reaching 100, because just reaching 100 is not what India requires right now.
No.
Yes. Oh no, we have to play out the entire day.
Daddy 100.
Oh, it has to be huge. And Saurabh, जैसे सुयोग भाई ने बोला कि कोहली सेंचुरी मारेगा. If he does score a century, I'm going to give him a bottle of vodka. Yeah, hopefully he does. Suyog bhai.
नहीं मारेगा, वो मारेगा, पक्का मारेगा.
एक वोडका की बोतल आ रही है अगर इस आपके घर पे अगर इसने कोहली ने सेंचुरी मारा तो. Okay. And
50 innings with no centuries is a big deal for Kohli. But like, he's that great a batsman कि वो बीच में कितना भी 50s मारे कोई नहीं पूछता. जब वो सेंचुरी नहीं मारा तो he's a failure, ऐसे लोग बोलना स्टार्ट करते हैं. Expect a century from something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's see how
he spoiled us. He has spoiled us.
Oh, yeah,
he spoiled us. Yeah, exactly. That's how well he bats. I'm just looking at Headingley's weather, and I mean, they say sunny intervals and light winds, so that basically means it's going to be partially cloudy. So I mean, we don't know exactly what
Melbourne का weather के जैसा.
Correct. But with the Duke's ball, it's going to be a bit harder.
Yeah. Hopefully, as you said, the first session we played out. And yeah, I wanted to say this earlier when you spoke about the English bowlers losing their pace. Narayan, and how that comes is because Saurabh himself is a fast bowler. So he knows when some batsmen, they are set. And especially people who are out of form and they get to to take the center stage on the pitch and they score a few, it actually impacts the pace as well as a bowler. And इसको भी इसने भी एक्सपीरियंस किया हुआ है तो हम लोग पर्सनली रिलेट कर सकते हैं.
बहुत मार खाया है, बहुत मार खाया है.
Yeah. All right. On the other hand, Naran, this question is for you. You've already spoken about David Malan. Say something about Joe Root. I mean, क्या चल रहा है यार? ये क्या खा के आता है भाई?
He's just piling on the runs, isn't it?
Man of the series.
He had a wonderful year. No, it's not about the man of the series. This entire calendar year has been good for him. He's just in the form of his life, and if you're in the form of a life, score big, score as much as you can, because you never know, form can always dip, and you can see how form has dipped for certain other good players as well around you, as well as in the opposition competitors. So it makes a big difference when you're in the form of your life. Go for it, score as much as you can, and he's showing exactly that.
Yeah, true. Absolutely. And it's a pleasure.
But it's wonderful, as you rightly said, to see David Malan back in the squad, back in the test squad, because this is exactly what he has been wanting. Unfortunately, the ECB had told him to focus more on the T20 format. But now that he's been brought in as an urgent reinforcement, he has shown the faith in them. And it was a wonderful 70 that he has scored for England in the first innings.
Yeah. And as coming back to India, Abhi, how today shapes up, first hour and first session will decide the fate of the match. You both agree, right? Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Supposedly we have two scenarios. Saurabh, ये तेरे लिए कि ये भाई दोनों चमक गए और सेंचुरी, इसने सेंचुरी मारा और उसने भी सेंचुरी मारा, और आज हम लोग अच्छा खासा लीड कर दिया. क्या अच्छा वैल्यू होगा लीड का, और कितना टाइम देना चाहिए इंग्लैंड को बैटिंग करने के लिए कि एनफोर्स अ रिजल्ट? ये फर्स्ट सिनेरियो है. नारू, I'll come back. Narayan, I'll come back to you with the second scenario. Saurabh, पहले तेरा आंसर.
देख भाई, कुछ भी हो जाए, you're not going to, unless अपना लीड जो है 250 के ऊपर है, there is no point in declaring.
Yeah.
ठीक है. And अगर हम लोग see, if we are at around a 200 का lead, and if there's like say 50 overs left, they're not going to try and go for 4 runs and over on a day 5 pitch. So that makes sense. So ठीक है, you can do that. But there is no point in declaring at all. Even with 250, I'm just saying, even with a 250 ka lead, we should not give them more than 70, 75 overs to bat. Because the way the Indian bowlers, हम लोगों ने जैसे first innings में bowling की, especially some of the bowling that Ishant Sharma did as an experienced batsman, should know, even when we were bowling to Root, it wasn't like Root was looking exceptionally good. Okay, things were just working, and we were bowling. It's like our bowlers did not know what to bowl. मतलब वो bowling करना भूल गए थे. We were bowling short, we were bowling wide, we were bowling all over the place. We were not bowling the right balls. Like if you notice, day 2, session 1, India bowled brilliantly.
Yeah.
मतलब जब लोगों ने हमीद को निकाला, फिर what's his face, Burns को निकाला. At that point, the way we were bowling, the way our bowlers were bowling, the lines that they were bowling, and then after that, the way they started bowling, and like when Malan and Root were basically settling in, there was way too many easy singles being given, so they were easily able to rotate the strike and everything. So there's no point in looking at the way our bowlers have gone. Everyone except Bumrah and Jadeja, or even Shami, Siraj and Ishan, their economies are not something a test bowler should have. So even in the second innings, if we have a lead of around 250, then maybe if there's 70 overs left, you declare. But otherwise, if we don't have a lead of 250, you're not declaring, irrespective of whatever number of overs are left. Just keep batting as much as you can. Because know this, we can win this series or we can draw this series and we retain the trophy. So hero बनने की जरूरत नहीं है, दिमाग लगा के खेलो.
Okay, fair enough. Some really good points. Thanks, Saurabh. Narayan, the other scenario for you, समझ ले कि इंग्लैंड को कल रात को बहुत धुलाई हुई है कोच ने बहुत गाली दिया जो रूट को और बॉलर लोग को, एंड हम लोग फर्स्ट आवर में we lose Rane, Pujara, and Kohli. Hopefully we don't. But if we do that, and we are staring down to maybe a possible defeat today itself, or maybe not giving enough lead. Your thoughts, how and what should be the approach that the Indian team should follow, and possibly a counter attack from England?
I think the situation in itself shows that if it does happen today, then we could end up having an innings defeat or maybe a lead of just about 20 to 30 for England to chase within today itself. So in that sort of a situation, I wouldn't know how India would approach, because I think the match is all long gone and dusted. So our first priority should be, we are about 139 behind from England, and take out that first session, first hour, play safe, build up on your score, then slowly and steadily start once a ball. They're definitely going to be taking the new ball today. Yeah. So it's going to be the Pacers and the new ball on a fresh day 4 wicket. So it's going to be a tough 1 hour. It's going to be a tough 1.5 hours. Play that out, take the easy singles, and then try to look at how best can you up the ante and reduce the margin of the lead of 139, and then play a natural game, because now we have to assume that we are 0 for 2 or 3, whatever, when we reach the par score. So you have to now play it out completely. And see, I'm not even looking at putting England onto bat. For me, if India has to approach this game, they have to now play it by session, and assume that they have to bat out an entire day 4 as well as part of day 5. Nothing below that is going to help, and anything below that is an English win comfortably. So let's not put a burden on the entire team. And I do understand how each team in the dressing room would be looking at working out. And it's just a matter of 1 or 2 wickets, right? You get one, you get the other. So one good positive thing is that India has not lost wicket in clusters in this innings. So apart from the unfortunate dismissal, which was the umpire's call, but you can see the intent where the scoring has been there, and also the rotational of the strike, and as well as people who are not in the runs are getting some useful valid runs, but it's still way behind. You got a small crack in the door. It's time to see if we can wedge it a bit more and maybe put a foot on the door.
Yeah. And what about English bowling? How would they approach this innings?
Oh, they would definitely want to.
Okay, I'll rephrase my question. Sorry, I'll rephrase my question. What would be their approach, considering how they approached the innings yesterday? You saw कि वो लोग bats पे bowling कर रहे हैं, and they are giving easy scoring opportunities to both Pujara and Virat. So what changes they should be going, considering the pitch and considering what they bowled yesterday, Naran?
Yeah, it's just a matter of one bad session or one odd day. So I don't think England bowlers have much to worry, because these are top class bowlers, and they would have had a word in the dressing room after the end of test play. So it's just a matter of just changing a line slightly. And these guys, they know they have scored enough, and we are up against it completely. Already 2 wickets gone. Yes, you get one of these 2, you go into the middle order, which still hasn't scored any runs. I mean, the next person upcoming is Ajinkya, right? After that, it's Pant and Jaddu. And then it's a lengthy tail. So, it's just a matter of getting that 1 wicket or 2 wickets. And then it's just when do you see the closing ceremony happening, either today or early tomorrow. But so I don't think it's much of a concern for the English bowlers, but it's more towards how the Indian batsmen approach this day 4.
Yeah, absolutely. some really good points, Narayan. Really love that analysis that you've given. Now, एक स्पेशल मेंशन मेरे दोस्तों के लिए, पीयूष, मृगेश, विनय और हरीश. हमारा एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप है and we guys are really passionate, और हम लोग पूरा मैच और मैच के बाद और मैच के पहले we've had so many discussions. Literally at the end of the day मेरा व्हाट्सएप पूरा फ्रीज हो जाता है, मेरे को चैट डिलीट करना पड़ता है. तो you spoke about Narayan, and you spoke about Ajinkya Rahane. Now Piyush especially has been of a very strong opinion कि पुजारा को बिठाओ, रहाणे को बिठाओ. सौरभ, तेरे को क्या लगता है कि अभी पुजारा ने 90 मारा है, अगर सपोज वो अच्छा स्कोर करता है, प्रेशर रहेगा रहाणे पे स्कोर करने के लिए?
It doesn't matter regardless. If you remember, जब first test खत्म हुई थी, we were having this conversation as well.
Yeah.
And I still remember, and I said, like, those two are too good to be left out. Like, हम लोग नहीं, see, there is always that one scenario in your head where it goes, what if this is the game that they work?
Yeah.
ये गेम में चल गए तो, and
यही हुआ कल.
you and that's what it is like. कि, see, big game players जो होते हैं ना, they might go through a rough patch, but they will always. See, I will be honest. Like, there have been moments where even I've thought कि यार एक काम करते हैं पुजारा की जगह, like, you know, like, but like I would still, where I've even told you कि यार पुजारा की जगह Mayank Agarwal, we could bring him in. Like, he's an opening bat, but number 3 wouldn't be too hard for him to, you know, acclimatize to and everything. But like, but in all honesty, none of our players that are actually sitting in the dressing room right now, who are not a part of the playing 11, actually have experience of any sort of, you know, a big game kind of experience. कि मतलब भाई अगर situation, अगर crunch situation है, तो उस टाइम पे दिमाग ठंडा रख के बैटिंग कैसे करना है या बॉलिंग कैसे करना है. There's not many people who know that, and that is where experience separates the great from the average. And like can you imagine like someone like again, nothing against Mayank Agarwal, nothing against someone like a Prithvi Shaw or a Surya Kumar Yadav or anyone, but like, can you imagine the situation where that was when Pujara walked in yesterday? बंदे की फट रही होगी यार.
Yeah, absolutely.
और उस टाइम पे थी, ऑफ कोर्स, मतलब इंग्लिश बॉलर्स को भी क्रेडिट देना चाहिए कि उसका कॉन्फिडेंस बिल्ड करने के लिए उन्होंने बहुत मदद की उसकी स्टार्टिंग. बट स्टिल, लाइक द मोमेंट ही गॉट गोइंग, like he's like Pujara playing at a strike rate of around 50 is not bad at all. Yeah.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Yesterday he looked very comfortable. It didn't look where he given any chances. मतलब ऐसे नहीं हुआ कि उसका कुछ catch drop हुआ या कुछ भी हुआ. No. Yes, you've got edges, but they've all gone to the ground straight away. They've not even carried to the slip quarter.
Yeah.
So he's been like him or even Rahane for that matter. Like, these are big game players that have delivered time and again. You can't just discredit them like this कि हाँ एक दो सीरीज नहीं चले तो भगा दो. Sorry, नहीं कर सकते हो यार ऐसे. And like, because come as the man बोलते हैं ना, you never know when, like, if they work in this game, then their selection is justified for the next year. क्योंकि उन लोग बोलेंगे हाँ ठीक है, जब हम लोग जीत रहे हैं तो नहीं खेलते, ठीक है, बट जैसे हारने की टाइम आती है हम लोग खेल रहे हैं ना. It's basically one of those things. So I think both Rahane and Pujara are too good to be left out. Like, there's too much potential there to be left out.
Okay, absolutely. No, thank you for that valid point.
I have a small have a small point over here, and I do understand why people are talking about Cheteshwar and Ajinkya being because this. I always felt Cheteshwar should be left alone, and he is a person whose role in this team. People are so used to watching T20 cricket and wanting the half century and the century that they forget what the other person's role is. And Cheteshwar, yes, he's been out of form, no doubt, taking nothing away, but that is with anyone and everyone. You could see the lack of form is also happening with Virat, with Ajinkya as well. You could see even Rohit, when he was not picked for the test, even in the one days, you could see a dip in his form. But if you look at Cheteshwar's contribution, that innings with Rahane at Lords, that innings at Gabba, that innings at Sydney, these may not be 100 type innings, but these are all such valuable innings which has given the team the elevation, the platform to now seek, those content and, the stability that you really need in a team, right? And that is what you need. You don't need everyone going at 80 or 60 strike rate or plus 100 strike rate. You need someone to like eat up the balls, frustrate the bowlers so much that the next person who is batting alongside you or the person who will be coming after you has an easier job.
Yeah.
We fail to draw that line, and we always feel that, one down a person. I don't want to watch a test match who's a player playing 0 not out of 54 balls, 0 not out of 48 balls. I'm okay, man. I mean, you take 200 balls to score your first run. I'm all okay as long as that is what the team needs.
Yeah. An inning like this gives the license to people like Ravindra Jadeja and Rishabh Pant to go after the bowling. And this is what they are capable of. तो एक साइड पे चेतेश्वर पुजारा और अजिंक्य रहाणे ऐसा सॉलिड फाउंडेशन बन के रखेंगे, एक एंड पकड़ के रखेंगे और वहां पे वो लोग पूरा उधम मचा सकते हैं. All right.
And also I do think one thing which not many people are realizing is after we were 78 all out, England had scored 400, right? I mean, your lead is already above 300.
Yeah.
The whole reason of them not going for the declaration and us getting them all out should be a very positive thing, to be honest.
Absolutely.
And that clearly shows that England is not satisfied with their score. They wanted more. We actually got them all out, and they literally do not want to come back to bat again.
Yeah.
And now if we do play today well, and we do wipe out that trail margin and start taking a lead, then you could see some worried faces in English camp, because this Lord's replay will start replaying all over again in their minds, and you could see some desperate changes in the bowling attack, and some banter maybe coming in. But I'm not even going that far. I think what worked well for Cheteshwar, to be honest, is I think someone in the dressing room would have said, "Bro, you have 3 days. Just bat out 3 days." He's like, "Thank God. This is what I need. I don't need a target. I can actually do this. I can just put my bat down and just like head down and just bat out for 3 days." And
रन का टेंशन नहीं है ना, मैं बैटिंग करके आता हूं, मेरा प्रैक्टिस बाकी है.
So I think that works for certain people differently. So I think that's how it worked for Cheteshwar.
Yeah, लेकिन जिस स्टाइल से उसने कल बैटिंग किया, मेरे को एक बार भी नहीं लगा कि ये भाई आउट ऑफ फॉर्म है. सिर्फ जब स्पिनर आया, वो जो उसका वो स्टाइल है, that actually my heart starts racing. He goes down the track and then edges, tries to defend. That is only when I get a bit scared for Pujara ke ये भाई out मत होना. That's the only time कल मुझे ऐसा लगा. Otherwise he was playing pretty normal, scoring those magnificent on drives. He had like 3 to 4 boundaries at the start of the innings, on drive, and then flicks, the leg glance, some pretty good shots. So hopefully we continue on that and build up on that. Now, I've kept the best for the last. This what I felt was the best of the entire day. I know Pujara scored 90 of solid innings, और कोहली ने भी अच्छा बैटिंग किया है. लेकिन at the beginning of India's second innings batting, we saw Rohit Sharma अलग ही जोन में है, और उसने अलग ही गेम खेला. और अपन तीनों भी मुंबई का रहे, और ये भाई भी अपना मुंबई का रहे. एंड सौरभ, मैं तेरे से पहले स्टार्ट करेगा क्योंकि तू रोहित शर्मा का फैन है. बता भाई, क्या इनिंग्स था?
Probably one of the best innings he's played. This one, the 83 at Lords. Even the second innings में जब उसने start दिया था Lords में, it was a brilliant thing. Like he's playing amazing cricket. बहुत सही बैटिंग कर रहे हैं और मतलब you know there is a lot of people that say कि यार Rohit is a flat track bully. इंडिया में खेलता है, इंडिया के बाहर कुछ नहीं खेल पाता. हाँ, that first international century still eluding him a little bit. और अगर उसने श्रीलंका में जाके या बांग्लादेश में जाके सेंचुरी मारा तो कोई काउंट नहीं करने वाला है क्योंकि वो इंडियन सबकॉन्टिनेंटल कंडीशंस ही है. बट like I personally think the way he was batting yesterday, he deserved the century. And like, you know, the biggest disappointment in the whole innings of Rohit yesterday was that bloody DRS. I mean, like just before the call started, me, you and Narayan, we were talking about this. Like, ये umpire's call की जो चीज है, हाँ, it works in our favor as well, and I'm happy to concede that. But I'm also saying कि umpire's call should not exist. Like, एक सिंपल चीज होनी चाहिए ना कि अगर मैं रिव्यू ले रहा हूं तो आई एम डिसएग्रीइंग विद द अंपायर्स कॉल फंडामेंटली. तो मैं बोल रहा हूं कि अगर मैं रिव्यू ले रहा हूं तो आई एम सेइंग कि आई एम डिसएग्रीइंग विद द अंपायर्स कॉल. सो एट दैट पॉइंट if the umpire has said it is hitting in line, but if Hawkeye is telling me or ball tracking is telling me that the impact is partially in line, so it's umpire's call, then in that scenario it should be that this is a dubious call. It should introduce an element of doubt. And benefit of the doubt, as per the laws of cricket, always goes to the batsman. So that itself should be enough to give any batsman a not out. And that's literally what I'm saying. Like, even if an umpire has given the person a not out, umpire's call should just basically be not out, flat out. Khatam kar. Umpire's call as such hona hi nahi chahiye. Because if you noticed yesterday, the ball was barely kissing the stump. कुछ नहीं था. मतलब वो याद है हम लोग जब 10th में मैथ्स का प्रॉब्लम करते थे तो हम लोग वो ये बनाते थे, सर्कल्स बनाते थे, वो टेंजेंशियल सर्कल्स जिससे बनाते थे. कल वही हुआ था. टेंजेंशियल सर्कल है ये कि there is only one point of contact between the two circles. It's infinitesimally small, tending to zero. And that was enough to give him out. But which is disappointing. I think it's like, which is disappointing as a fan. Yes, but I also get कि इन लोगों ने umpire's call क्यों रखा है. I think it is an umpire's call because the ball tracking does not have sufficient evidence to overturn the umpire's decision, is what they are trying to say. So, as a respect to the on-field umpire who has to make a decision in real time, they say, okay, we'll go with whatever the umpire has said. But ये कुछ ज़्यादा ही था. So, it's either you get rid of it completely, but I would personally just get rid of it completely. And if there is even a shadow of doubt of whether an impact is in line or not, or whether it's going to hit the stumps or not, it should just be flat not out. Khatam. I'm not saying it should be flat out or the decision should be overturned. Not out है तो flat not out, out है तो भी flat not out. खत्म. Umpire's call equals not out क्योंकि doubt है. Doubt equals batsman.
मतलब ये umpire call जो ये बीच में question mark आ रहा है, वो मतलब उसको कोई तवज्जो ही नहीं देना है. भाई तू जा, साइड में जा.
हाँ, अगर डाउट है, जिसको तुम लोग अंपायर्स कॉल बोलते हो, जो डाउट है, जब डाउट होता है तभी तो when the hawker is not sure कि ये 100% आउट है या नॉट आउट है, तभी तो इन लोग अंपायर्स कॉल देते हैं ना. सही. तो अगर वो डाउट है तो वो नॉट आउट है, खत्म. क्योंकि बेनिफिट ऑफ डाउट हैज टू गो टू द बैट्समैन. करेक्ट. राइट नाउ द बेनिफिट ऑफ डाउट इज गोइंग टू द अंपायर.
राइट. ओके. Fair enough. Good point.
That's my take on the whole thing.
Yeah. No, absolutely a valid point, and that's what Uncommentary is about. हम लोग अपने uncommon opinions share करते हैं, and I'll invite Narayan into this discussion. ये पहले तो रोहित शर्मा, Narayan, I felt this just like Saurabh. I really enjoyed watching him batting. The way he batted, the way he controlled himself. और उसके बाद उसको ऐसे आउट मिला, वो क्या गुस्सा हो गया था. यू सॉ उसका बैट ऐसे पछाड़ा, मतलब सोच रहा था अरे एक किसी को तो फोड़ू अभी.
Absolutely, Dev. I mean, it's been a couple of innings, or a few innings rather, more than a couple, this entire series where Rohit Sharma has got his eye in him, gotten the runs, important runs, especially at the top order when it's tough conditions to bat, and he alone has shown. But see, there's one thing about Rohit Sharma right now, is that one odd shot, and I have been telling this to you for years, whether it's the one day or the test, there will be that one shot of Rohit Sharma where he will give you a chance. Now it is up to the fielding team or the opposition whether you grab that opportunity or not. But there will be a catch or a stupid shot or something he may do. But there will be that one opportunity that he will eventually end up giving to every opposition team. Leaving that aside, I mean, it was a wonderful innings to see him back in the and score some useful runs, especially when we were having our backs against the wall. And yeah, I do understand where you guys are coming from, the disappointment about the DRS as well as the umpire's call. But see, I do realize that, technology is not 100% foolproof, but we must also respect the on-field umpire for his decision. And we have also seen in the past where the ball tracker has shown a completely different image towards what the actual video of the ball pitching on the stump and moving towards is, as well as Sneeko, right? I mean, there are situations where you can hear a nick or there's some noise, but the Sneeko doesn't catch anything. Yeah. Also, there has been no noise and the Sneeko does catch something. So nothing is 100% foolproof, and ball tracking, Hawkeye, whatever terms you may use are also part of the same technology, similar technology. And we do understand the disappointment with how a player who's so well set and, we really want someone to score, and then the umpire's call comes and like takes it away. I feel that umpire's call will continue to remain until this technology can become 100% foolproof. So if the technology can become 100% foolproof, fully, then will the umpire's call will be removed. I think until then, I think umpire's call will continue to remain, and whatever the on-field umpire's decision would be, would continue to upheld, irrespective of what the ball tracker may show. So what the ball tracker shows is, as long as it's even if it's a tangent to the stump, or even if it's like whatever minutely hitting, if the umpire has given it not out, it is not. So the only reason why they can overrule the umpire's call would be if 50% of more of the ball is hitting the stump or the bales or knocking the bales out. That is the only way they can overrule the umpire's call. Otherwise, they are going to stick with whatever the on-field umpire has given his decision. And yeah, it does it does work your way, it goes against your way, and this was just one of the situations that it just...
Correct. Awesome. Thank you both, Saurabh and Narayan, for some valid points today. It was a fun discussion, and viewers, we thought we'll do something different because we all three of us are from Mumbai. We wanted to add that Mumbaikar element of speaking in our language, the Mumbaiya language. That's why we thought we'll see how it goes based on our reactions with our friends and families. And going ahead, we might have separate a Hindi channel and an English channel, but Uncommentary will keep on coming to you for all of matches. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Narayanan, and thank you, Saurabh. Hopefully, आज इंडिया कुछ अच्छा करता है. And
अभी तो रात को बैठ के मैच देखने का है भाई, पूरा रात को 3 बजे.
पूरा. अरे वीकेंड है भाई, मजे.
वीकेंड का कोई का फायदा होता है.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chalo, thanks guys.